Hey guys. Hey, I just want to make quick recording here. It's about Social Security Medicare. You see, some people are saying that they need Social Security and Medicare reform because it's busting the United States government can't pay for it through the money we pay through our taxes. Well, here's from what I see is the truth regarding Social Security. Clinton, President Clinton, whoever, yeah, during his when he was the president, they pillaged, or you might say they took the money that was for Social Security and they spent it on other things. There is no law that money for Social Security can only be spent on Social Security. And if he hadn't done that, allowed that, the Social Security would be fine for at least, I think, 25, 30 years more without change. And I'm not sure, but if you're if you're if you're above a certain age, maybe 62, and you can't afford your property tax, I'm not sure, but I think depending upon your income, you might be not have to pay it. Just to let you know, I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think it is. So if a person is 62 doesn't have to pay the property taxes, and they own their home, and they may not be living great, but I mean, come on. I mean, does ever? I mean, a lot of people who get Social Security are making a lot more than people who are working right now, 40 hours a week. Now, on the Medicare thing, I don't know what to say too much because the hospitals are charging the amount of money that is spent at a hospital goes up and up and up and up and up. I guess they charge more and more and more. So, I don't know what to say. I've heard some of the wages that some people get, and I'm like shocked that, I mean, nothing compares mostly anywhere else. When some people will say, "Oh, you got to pay them that because it's over life and death." Well, most anyone can do some of those jobs. They don't want to hear it, but medical in Russia doesn't cost a whole lot of money, and you can get good service. Just to note, okay, it's possible. At least that's what I used to think. Mexico costs a lot less there too. Yes, there's cost insurance and stuff like that, and schools, at least for doctors, can be very expensive to become a doctor, and especially when you have to pay student loans back. And but I knew a nurse, at least one, I think, a number of years ago. She was making $35 an hour. I mean, that was never the case many years ago. And so I'm saying, I think let's put it this way: Medicare, it should cover um, basic things, broken bones, and other type things. The more expensive things, like where they cost a huge amount of money, I think the person, if it's gonna really gonna put a strain on Medicare, on the program, I think people need to buy additional insurance. So those who want to have additional, like, $500,000 surgery or something like that, then they need to pay into insurance, so that if they do need it, they can get it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to put that onto Medicare. It's not maybe nice, but you know, a lot of things aren't nice. I mean, you can't bust a program because of one person. You can't make a program fail because of the needs of 3 people out of 100. So 100 people have to have no program because the 3 people cost so much, and the 97 left don't get anything because the money for the program is spent on mostly 3 people out of 100. That's not doesn't make sense. It'd be better for 97 people to get what they need, and the 3 people to maybe not get everything they need, or to spend tons of cash on 3 people that are, sadly to say, are probably going to die anyway within a year or two. But hospitals might love it, though. Certain specialists might love it because they make tons of cash for certain things. That's my solution, and I think it'd be fine. I think Medicare will be fine then. And Medicaid, I mean, just these drug companies are ridiculous. They charge so much for something. I think the same thing with Medicaid. Just make sure there's certain drugs available, and things that are available that are generic. You know how Kroger, for example, has their own peanut butter, and it can be cheaper than Smucker's brand or some other brand. Or Myers might have their own peanut butter, which is not a bad peanut butter, but it's cheaper than, don't buy it from, just get the average brand. I mean, it does the same thing, right? Why must it be purchased from some Johnson and Johnson or whoever makes it? Why should it be purchased from them for 5 times the price of one from some company that produces a lot of them, and it does the same thing? It's the same thing. So I think that the common drugs and other things, Medicaid should purchase from low-cost producers, and certain companies that go and do the research, whatever, and they produce these certain new drugs that are going to solve everything. That's how they always say it. They're going to solve everything. They don't solve everything. What they do is they mask the problem. Drugs just kind of, from what I get out, they cover the problem. The problem's not really solved, so they have to keep on taking the drug. So I wouldn't say they're magnificent. The basic ones are already there. Lots of drugs, medical type drugs, medicines are taken from the cocaine plant. That's what I mean by. Excuse me. The basic ones are there, and so things that are basic, just buy them cheap. And the ones that are new things, or whatever. This is a tough one here because I don't want to discourage companies from making a profit or investing into research to make a new drug if it's going to do something that is needed. it would do something better than what is currently present. At the same time, they shouldn't make a killing off of these things because research, what is the kind of research they really do? They get people volunteer, I think, at universities or whatever, and they test drugs on them. I mean, they pay the people who are testing the drugs probably lots of money. Come on now, and they do some. I don't know a whole lot what goes on, but cheap. The ones that are more expensive right now. Um, I think people, if it costs like humongous amount of money for a small number of people for certain drugs, well then maybe those people should pay into a program so if they ever need those drugs, they can if they want to pay for insurance into a certain program so if they ever need those drugs they can get them. Otherwise they're not going to. I mean, it's not nice, but whatever. And if new drugs come out, the government should say, okay, in 10 years we will start seeing if a company has a product that does the same thing available 10 years after the new drug comes out, we will start considering buying it from them if it's cheap. So the company who produces the new drug has 10 years to make money from it without they have a patent for 10 years, you might say, and then a substitute can come out. That's not going to be a great discouragement. 10 years. I mean, that might already exist. I don't know, but that's my solution. That way, Medicaid isn't going to be, sucked dry for a small for some high expensive drugs, and people who need the basic stuff can get what they need cheap. Under the program. So solutions, but we all have solutions. The government, I don't think doesn't. They need to take them. And I don't want to listen to certain people. I was listening to this one guy named David M. whatever his name was. He used to be working the government. I think he worked under Clinton or something like that. Under Clinton, this guy was saying Medicaid and we need Medicare. What is it? What he said was we need Social Security and Medicare reform or something like that. He said. I think what he means by that is reduce the benefits or something. He's got like 4 PhDs and all this, and people like to, say PhD must know something and all that kind of stuff. Here's my opinion. From what I got out of it, if that's what he wants, he's a dumbass, okay? Or he's working for somebody and trying to put an opinion off. So he's working for somebody who has special interest, okay? He's not trying to help the average guy, if that's what he's doing, in my opinion, or he's dumb. Just because a person has a degree doesn't make him smart, okay? It doesn't mean he knows everything. That's the problem with our society. A university, just because you go to it doesn't make you smart. I saw what it looks like inside of at least one. There's this one guy, this Chinese teacher. He was, I won't go into detail, but mainly too much, but he was talking about an engineer, right? They took an engineering course. This particular teacher was teaching it. He said he was talking about something that an engineer built, and he was like saying, yeah, such so-called engineer, because how in the, he didn't even do this right. And some students in the class may not have liked him saying that, but I was like, this guy was, holding his engineer responsible, saying like, yeah, why in the hell? He's kind of like implying, why in the hell didn't he use his engineering, his knowledge to actually design something properly? He should have. Don't blame it on. The guy probably didn't know his engineering, even though he's an engineer. So that's an example, in my opinion, of a good teacher. He doesn't. If you're an engineer, you're supposed to eng. You're supposed to engineer. You're supposed to be able to. You're supposed to be able to, get results. It seems like in these universities, they don't necessarily expect you to be able to do anything. You're supposed to learn it afterwards. Yeah, whatever. That's the end of recording.